the seniors because they're not going to be able to experience this, experience that. And I was like, and I get it. However, we got something big going on right now. You know what I mean? So
no. I'm not debating that. What I'm saying is it's still allowed to suck.
Yeah, I agree.
Give the college kids just kind of have to stand in their way. They're all in their parents' houses, right? Like they're all in their parents' houses. Let them get just an hour or two. I don't know how long it's going to be, but just let them get some time where they can express eloquently. I don't want to hear whining, but eloquently. What do you miss? What's hard? What about the job market were you thinking in January when you were beginning your last semester at college, going into now? And how has that all changed? I think that's so untold. And for all the stories that are beat to death, and look, I am in awe of the healthcare workers. And I have something about that. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up to you.
Okay.
The healthcare workers are heroes. But do you want to see them every day talk about the patients they lost? It's starting to rub me the wrong way. I don't want to keep hearing that.
But see, I'm looking at it differently. I don't want to disagree with everything you're saying today, but I look at it differently because I'm like, I want them to remind everyone that this isn't over. So when I hear Trump talking about that he's working with all the different heads of states or heads of wherever companies or whoever, Jim McMahon and whoever else, the task force that he put together, when he's working with them to open everything up by May 1st, I want the health people to be able to say, wait a minute,
no,
let me
but
tell you what's going on in the hospital.
Fauci went on Snapchat and he couldn't have said it fast enough. He said, I want sports back.
No, he did. But he said he wanted it without fans. But the only way it was able to do it without fans is that he wants sports back. Florida.
And you and I have been in agreement because it's not about the fans; it's about the players infecting each other.
Right, definitely about the players infecting each other, but they don't have a system able to do it safely. That's the issue. They don't have a system. So they're putting out the scenarios. Yes, we want sport, but you have to add that part because if you leave that part out and you just tell people we want sports back, then they're like, okay, yes, sports are back.
Of course,
you have to say, but we can't do it because we can't do it safely. You have to put that part in there. And they're not putting that part in there when they make those announcements.
If you read the headlines, if you just are a headline reader and you don't read the actual stories and you don't watch the actual news, you literally think baseball's coming back.
Exactly. No question.
There was one story that said until college campuses reopen, there are no collegiate sports.
Yes, I saw, but not just one story, multiple stories. New Orleans said they're not having any kind of gatherings for all of 2021. Until 2021. That's what they said. That's what I don't remember if it was the governor or the mayor, but there was a story that said that.
I saw it.
So there is still, so you're getting this type of information. You're
so what college football do you have?
That's the point. So then when you're having, and that's my issue with this, when you're having because you have to responsibly give people information. You can't just say things and not include the whole picture. And that's what's happening. You know what I mean? It's
you see the other story? I want to read this from a doctor. I guess this doctor who had coronavirus, my daughter's friend's father, texted me something awful. But before I do that, one last sports smile thing. Did you see the story about Kirk Cousins?
I did not.
The quarterback of Minnesota, who said he would welcome games with no fans. And immediately, his social media was like, Kirk Cousins, a guy who has been booed mercilessly in his career.
Hey, why have to go there about Kirk?
They were like, and he's like, I can handle playing with no fans. They're like, yeah, Kirk Cousins, his fantasy numbers will go up because there'll be nobody booing him.
That's funny.
All right, let me read you the doc. He asked that I don't use his name. He's a doctor. I'm just going to read this. What he wrote me is unbelievable. He had coronavirus, and I didn't know. And they were at one point going over their will. Like, it was very serious. He did not get hospitalized. He did not go on a ventilator, but he couldn't move. And he was falling in and out of consciousness. He was in bad shape. We didn't know. And I only found out because my daughter needed help with one of the homework things. And so the moms called each other And said, so how are you dealing with all this? And that's when we heard. So I texted him and I just said, dude, that's unbelievable. Here he goes. He is a pediatric doctor. He helps. Okay. No, not pediatric. Older people. Elder care.
Right.
Elder care. He says, now, he is on the mend. He's not 100%. Mm-hmm. I have been going to one nursing home each morning the last 2 days, doing speed rounds, no more than an hour, eyeballing my patients and checking in with them and the nurses, and then heading out. Writing all my notes and checking labs from home, faxing notes in. So I'll generally be back home by 10 a.m., then working from home. Mm-hmm. All these nursing homes have been hit hard. One of them is called Stratford Manor. No one knows what that is. It's next to the pizza place that I go to on Northfield Avenue. Has 40 cases. Probably more, but most are not tested yet. So until immunity is well established, I'm on a stick and move schedule for my rounds. I said, I don't know how you're doing this. That's what I wrote back. I don't know how you're doing this. This is where it goes. It's more depressing than ever. And the total mortality numbers are much higher than you're seeing on TV. There are thousands of old folks dying from this, but they were never tested, so they don't get counted in the statistics. In my nursing homes, about 80 to 100 fall in this category, and I'm just around 25 facilities in New Jersey. Today alone, 3 of my patients are no longer there. They passed away from suspected COVID. Imagine the same scenario nationally. There are around 30,000 nursing homes and assisted livings in the United States. If each one lost 3 to 5 patients from undiagnosed COVID, that is a staggering number. He said, please don't use my name. I have not. He said, but I wanted to tell you this. I just looked it up. There are actually around 40,000 nursing homes and assisted livings. If 3 to 5 elders each died from suspected COVID, that is 120 to 200,000 deaths going unreported because they weren't tested. Many of these patients can't get tested, crash so quickly they die, and the hospital or facility won't waste a test on them. If they have a DNR, you know what that is, right? A do not resuscitate.
Do not resuscitate, I got you.
A DNH, do not hospitalize, or a DNI, a do not intubate, order on the chart, they die at the facility, and that's it.
And that's terrible. And the problem, which one thing that gets me vexed, and I don't want to go on a big rant because you just set it up for me to go on a rant, and I know we have to go to a break in a minute because we're going to bring on Buddy
Boeheim.
Yes, but that it makes me so upset turning on the TV and hearing different politicians saying that they would feel comfortable sacrificing that group in order to boost the economy.
Awful.
That bothers me. And they say it with such conviction, and they say these are the pro-life people. These are the people who care so much about life and preserving everything. And they're like, we just got to sacrifice them. And we just got to move on because the stock market's got to come back. The economy's got to come. And they start talking about that. And I'm like, wow, that is amazing. I'm not going to go on a rant, though.
I know, but I see this on Twitter all the time. So I will, and if I push a button, I don't mean to. Mm-hmm. Please understand the context in which I'm going to say this. Please. Okay? Mm-hmm. Isn't that easy to say when you have the money you have?
Well, the people who are saying that are the people who have the money.
Well, right. But you're saying it differently. You're saying we have to take this more seriously, and we can't open up anything, and we can't have sports back. And I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying.
Right.
But you're not hurting for your next meal.
Yeah, but also you have your health. People are not valuing health.
I understand.
So if you have, we was talking about the 1,200 stimulus, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but what would be better is for you to be able to get tested and to be able to see if you need to go on
that money.
Right. Yeah, but and I understand what you're saying. Isn't that easier for me to say because I'm not like my refrigerator isn't empty right now.
Right.
I don't have, and I get that completely. Right. But you should not have to pick and choose between risking your life and being able to eat. And that is not a fair choice to be able to put. So the issue is right now, what I hear Trump telling people is that you need to pick the financial reasons no matter what situation you're in. Now, so he's making the same case to people with money. You need to choose this option for your portfolio.
Right.
And if you're on the lower, well, you need to also choose this option because you need to have money to be able to go back to work. And so he's making both arguments to people and not with life. Like your life, your safety, to be able to contain this, to be able to see if everybody can be safe, keep Americans safe. That's not even in the conversation anymore.
Nope.
It's all about the economy. You know what? I said I was not going to go on a rant. I'm not going to go on a rant. I'm going to stop.
Okay. All right. Buddy Boeheim is coming up next. Take a quick time out. Stay with us here. I'm sure we're going to we'll revisit this. I promise.
You realize that she was new to love, naive in every way. Every schoolboy's fantasy she was. That's why he had to wait.
Mari 42. So T Mass was having trouble finding a house party username that wasn't already taken. He's like, am I doing this right? I'm like, yeah, man. Keep trying to. You know Walt Williams, right?
Do I know what?
Walt Williams?
No.
You remember him? Okay, yeah.
Refresh my memory.
So he was a player, nice jumper from, 3-point specialist.
Oh, yeah. Walt Williams, yes. And Tony Matzenberg is a journalist?
He's a journalist now, but he played in the league for like 17 years. Won a ring with San Antonio. They both former players.
There you go. Oh, I'm going to try to get Buddy on.
Okay, cool.
The mic knocked you off.
No, it always does. Then I just have to rejoin. It does it every time, so it's all good.
Not for long.
Not for long, right?
Not for long. There he is.
Hey,
There he is. How you doing?
good, how are you?
All right. Cool. Hold up, we're at a break, so we're gonna come back here in about a minute,
2 minutes,
right?
2 minutes. 2 minutes
2
and
minutes.
10 seconds.
Sounds
Buddy,
good.
thanks for doing this, dude.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah, appreciate it. You doing
Anytime,
all
because
right?
you're not doing anything and you're quarantined like everybody else. I said to a time, I said, what's LeBron James doing? Let's get him on next.
Everybody's chilling.
Yep.
Buddy, you're on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. When we're doing the Twitch thing, my computer just gets slow. I will to welcome your Twitter handle. I like that he knows how to look fast. It's a generational
Buddy.
thing.
Buddy _ Boeheim 35.
Done. There it is. Okay, we'll choose people. 45 seconds. I'll check the new house people too, they'll love it. Done. 17. Just like that, we are back here on We are live here on Centers of Attention. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. And the guy on our left is one of my faves. He is the sharpshooter for the Syracuse Orange. Our buddy Boeheim. Buddy, welcome to the show. Thanks, man. How's quarantine?
Thanks for having me, and it's going all right. I'm hanging in there, just trying to take it day by day, get my schoolwork done, getting shots up, and just trying to stay in shape as best as possible, and spending time with my family.
Well, that's the question as on everybody's mind. Anybody who I said we were having Buddy on, he said, "Are you at home with your family, or are you at home with your teammates? Like, where are you quarantined? Because if you're at home with your dad, I have a feeling you are going to be the most in-shape player when it all comes back."
Yeah, I'm at home with my dad, so he's getting on me, getting to the gym every day. But I kind of just do it naturally. I love to work out and try to stay in shape. So he'll come down every now and then and see what I'm doing. And the other day he came down and he shot some free throws, so that was funny to watch. Just doing little things like that, and he'll come down, check on me, see what I'm doing, and just making sure I'm doing stuff every day.
So, buddy, and when I first met you, I met you when you was little, but when I met you and I had my son with me, and one of the things that he said, he was like, "Okay, buddy's cool," and so that is always the first reaction when somebody meets him as well, because he's a coach's kid.
Right.
So because I coach his AAU team. Do you get that a lot where people are kind of looking to see if you're going to be a jerk or if you're going to be cool? So they're kind of like kind of looking at you with one eye. Do you get that a lot?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, people will come up to me and they'll think I'm just a regular kid, but they'll think I'm something else, or all about myself because who I am, what my dad does, and kind of like I'm entitled, but I'm just a regular laid back kind of guy, and people kind of, treat it like I'm someone totally different and kind of act different around me at first. So it's a little weird at first, but once I get to know the person, I'm just a regular person that, just likes to, have fun, play basketball, and, just like every other person.
I love it.
That's great. That's great. So I gotta ask you. So is your dad harder on you? So my son Malcolm, he tells me I'm harder on him, and I push him a little bit more than everybody, or I get on him a little bit more. So is your dad harder on you?
I'd say it's a little. He treats me like a regular guy. I'd say just like any other guy, which I want, and he knows me as a player probably more than other guys because he's watched me grow up, and he knows what pushes me, what I need to be the best I can. He knows I need confidence here and there when I'm missing shots. He's there always, just keep me motivated, tell me to keep shooting. And, when I make a mistake, he'll get on me as quick as he does at anyone else. So, when I make a mistake, I expect him to yell at me, and, I want him to, because I don't want to, have special treatment, or I don't want him to be, too hard on me. I want him to be like everyone else. So, he's done a great job with that.
But was that one of the processes because your brother didn't go to Syracuse, and there was an idea that maybe you'd be better off going somewhere else? And I'm not getting into your family dynamic, and I've read all the articles, so I know how it all went down. But in your mind, was that ever a consideration to say, well, wait a second, I'd be looked at differently if I went into a locker room where he's not the coach?
I don't know. I definitely, thought about what happened if I played at a different school, how it'd be like. And for Jimmy, a lot of it was, he's a really smart kid. He really takes pride in school, and Cornell is the best option for him school-wise. And one of the few schools that really recruited him out of prep school. So going there, he really grew as a player, and, he's going to have a great degree in the business school. So that was part of his decision. And for me, I always dreamt about playing at Syracuse growing up, going to games, wearing jerseys, idolizing those former players. So, it was really always in the back of my mind that if I was.
You notice the tone of your voice, you're like, you totally just want to say that you're cooler than him. Like just say it like
that. I guess I've always just been focused on basketball more than school. And, he prioritizes school a little more than basketball, but, he's become a great player, and he's someone I look up to for sure.
It's crazy because I literally remember like when you was like a baby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure all the guys always say that, but we remember. But one thing I wanted to ask you, so how is it? How do you deal when people criticize your dad? So and this is like, and I always got to ask, related back
That's
to
a
my
great question. Oh,
because
I love
because
that question.
because he
I need popcorn for
sometimes would
this.
get kind of he would get a little offended, like want to stick up, like, wait a minute. But my daughter, baby Sierra, she's the one. She's like Ruth from Ozark. Like she want to come up there. You say something about my daddy, be like, she wanted to do it. So how do you
Ruth from
react?
Ozark. How great are you?
I've been watching Ozark, so that all references are Ozark now.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, definitely, I'd rather someone say something bad about me than, my dad, because, that's someone that, I've been close with since I was a kid. He's always, believed in me as a player and always has been there for me. And, I wouldn't be where I am without him. So when someone says something bad about him, I just, I get upset, and it kind of motivates me more to, help out Syracuse as much as I can, help out this team and try to win as much as possible. And, having him there just adds that extra, motivation.
And I don't think look. Some of it's obnoxious. I'm not going to deny. Some of it's really obnoxious. And I remember when we were doing the show up there, we would literally just hang up on people when they were that stupid. But I do think one of the fears from a fan standpoint is there was a plan that he was leaving, that his iconic career was coming to an end when Mike Hopkins was here, and then Mike Hopkins takes the job at Washington. And nobody says a thing. And everybody's just wondering. And it's not denying. I don't think I'm speaking out of school. I'm saying he's older than he was when he was coaching a ton. And so people can say, we don't have a plan. We don't know. We want to know. And I just think the lack of information has led fans to have their minds wander. And I'm talking about the smart fans. I'm not talking about the jerks. But the fans' mind wanders because everybody wants to know. I don't care if you told me Jim Boeheim's coaching for another 8 years. Let's just make a number. Who's next? Who's next in line? Where is my program going? Where will my team be in 20 years? Fans want to know that stuff because that's what the Duke fans are thinking. That's what the Kansas fans are thinking. And we have a coach of that caliber.
Yeah, I mean, I think Coach Hopkins, I think it was a great move. Obviously, he would have liked to stay, I think, and be the future coach, but for him to be able to go out to where he's from and start up a program on his own, and he got Coach of the Year his first year was something he wanted to do, and I think it was a great move for him. And I think he knew that also I would end up playing here, so I think he wanted to see me play for my dad and try to have that experience. So I think that's part of the reason. And the future is uncertain, but right now I know that. I got 2 years left, and, whatever he does when I leave is what he'll do. But, we have 3 great assistant coaches, and, whatever the future holds, I'm sure it'll be great. And, those guys are, just as capable. They run practice every day. They're around the program. They're recruiting. So, they've played here, so they know the program just as good as my dad.
One quick follow-up, and I want to change the subject off your dad. What was that North Carolina game at the ACC tournament like when the NBA season is being suspended and everyone has a theory and you guys might be going home and were you nervous to play because people might be infected? Was that one of the weirdest experiences that you've ever seen? I mean, I was going to say in your life, but you haven't been around that long.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen something like that. Finding out at halftime that Rudy Gobert had the coronavirus and just like we got to go out there and play another half now, and we don't know if the tournament's going to get canceled. And I mean, the only bright side is that to finish off like that, how we won and how we went there.
Right, you guys played your best game.
Best game yet, but when that happens, you want to keep playing. I mean, we had another chance to play again the next day, and we were just laying in bed, waiting for our ACC to cancel the tournament. So we were anxious and we wanted to play so bad, but. You have to respect the decision, how's most important right now. And, it was tough, but, on the bright side, it was a great win, great game, and, motivating you for next season.
I mean, it was a fantastic win. I mean, we were over there, and me and my son we were sitting there watching the game. It was like, man, the first thing he said was like, well, why couldn't they play like this when we was up there with no retirement ceremony?
See, he can say that. I can't say that.
A completely different game, but I mean, really, it speaks to where you all grew so much during the season. And I said it all the time during the season. I know, fans want to know about making the tournament, not making the tournament. They're looking at wins and losses, but I'm like, kind of sometimes you have to like push all that to the side and just look at how the team is growing. Right. And y'all were growing. You could see it. And one of the things that I saw from you in particular was, you moved from just being more of a spot up shooter to now you started doing a 2-dribble pull up. Now you started taking it all the way to the hole. Now you started doing a pump fake, then a 1-dribble pull up. And so those are just things that you're adding to your game. So I'm excited to see what happens, next year.
Right, definitely. I mean, like you said, we were a young team. We started off the season, looking at possibly a losing record, or you never know what. We're 500 going into the ACC play, which is one of the best conferences, no matter what. So to be able to turn around like we did, win 5-6 in a row in the conference, and be able to go 18-14, finish top 6 in the conference was really good, especially considering we had freshman point guard, all new guys, 4 new starters. Elijah was really the only one that started and played heavy minutes. So to be able to do that, I think was, really important and motivating for next season. So just really looking to build on my game and, get even better.
You mentioned him, so it came into my head. I wasn't going to ask, but...
We ain't going to say nothing, but since you brought him
up... when was the last time? Just give a short answer because I have a follow-up. When was the last time you talked to Mr. Hughes?
I probably talked to him about 4 or 5 days ago. We
4 or 5
days every now and then. So yeah, we talk on Snapchat, just little things here and there.
Okay. We'll get him on House Party. We can the 4 of us. We'll have a little chat. We think we're very adamant that with the NBA as screwy as it is, and everything in the world is as screwy as it is, we think that he's not going to get a proper look because of the coronavirus. That the things that you know about Elijah and the things that we know because we're fans and we covered the team last year, the things that we know, the guy in Denver is not going to know, and the guy in Dallas is not going to know. So we just think that when sports returns, I mean, there's going to be a return however it happens, he would really be beneficial to be with you guys for another year. And if I saw the argument, which again, that's not the point of why I'm bringing this up. If I saw the argument for him to stay before the coronavirus, I certainly see one now because of the coronavirus. Can you do me a favor? Just tell him that. Just record this piece and just tell him that.
Man, I'd love him to come back more than anything. One of my favorite players I've ever played with. Just an all-around great player, great person, most importantly, and he's a great leader for us this year. But whatever he does, I'm happy for him and just thankful I got to share the court with him these last 2 years. And whatever he does, he's going to do great. He's a special player and he deserves a chance at the NBA for sure.
Definitely. Now, one of the things that I've been one of the biggest cheerleaders for Brahma Sidibe this season. He had some tough spots. It took him a while, but then once he started rolling, he was like a double machine. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't stop talking about it enough. How beneficial was that to the entire team to see him and his progress and how he started playing, especially towards the later part of the season?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, I was really happy for Braum. He was battling injuries the last couple of years with his knee, and he really grew as a player. He's a great person. You love to have a teammate like him. He always is looking out for us, and he really grew. And when he's been able to put up doubles like that, it just puts off pressure on guys like me, Elijah, and Joe. If we're not shooting too well, you got Braum inside, cleaning up and cleaning up our misses. So just having him down there, he was a great threat. He was getting blocks. He had 4 or 5 blocks a couple games, and he was just a great presence down low and was really big for us. And, it's exciting going into his senior year. He could have a big year for us.
My favorite moment, probably of the entire season, was something that happened on a broadcast. So you didn't see it, buddy. You did not see, but a sideline reporter, sideline reporters, they have to have material in case there's no real news on the sideline. They got to have something to go to her with. and
Right.
I don't remember her name. She was so sweet and she did it so well. She went through Marek Dolezaj's eating routine. And she explained in grand detail what he has for breakfast with the bagels and the waffles and the bacon and the donuts and oh, holy moly. So, this is what I'd like for when the quarantine is over. I'll have a business proposal for you. Let's just kidnap him for 10 minutes and take some of his metabolism. Because I think I could market that. If I had Marek Dolezaj's metabolism, that would be the greatest weight loss situation in the history of Earth. For a guy that skinny to eat that much, he is an X-Men. He is a freak in nature.
Oh, definitely. He eats a lot. I mean, I know that he's on meal plans, and he'll have 4 to 5 meals a day, and it's just, he's still 185, 180, and he gets it done though. He's a tough player, and it's really funny. He gets frustrated too. He's trying to gain weight, but now that he's saying he's going to gain some weight, that he's just working out and eating a lot.
Because he's staying at home, right? Because he's stuck at home.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We'll see. He'll come in with a big pot belly, and everybody will be shocked.
So I got one more question for you. I'm reading the Mamba Mentality book with Malcolm. He's reading it. So one of the things that he's learned is that every year you want to add something new to your game. That's something that Kobe said, and he concentrated on adding something new to his game. What is the one thing that you want to add to your game? What is one thing that you're working on now, where next year you come back and it's going to be something that people haven't seen before, and you've progressed, already. So what's the one thing that you're going to add?
I'd say I'm really working on, getting to the rim and making plays right now, trying to work on my handle, quickness, and just become a better athlete and a better overall player on offense, and, be more than just a guy that's going to get hot, hit pull-ups, and, be able to score, but just
but
be
it's hard to pass up open shots when you want to go to that's got to be so hard to debate. I couldn't imagine. I can't do what you do, so I have reverence for that.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm just looking forward to next year, just really, trying to stay in shape and, make sure that I take advantage of this time.
Well, that's great. Well, hey, stay safe. We're definitely looking forward to next year as well. So thanks again for coming on the show. And say hi to Coach Boeheim for me.
I will, definitely. Thank you guys for having me.
Stay safe. Make sure everybody stays healthy. Don't go to the grocery stores or any of that nonsense.
Right. Just stay inside.
Stay inside.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thanks, man.
No
That's
problem.
Buddy Boeheim right here on the Twitch show. That's great. We'll take a quick time out. Come right back.